Who can heal time? I know you made your mistakes. It's a natural act of imperfect act. And in fact, is it really such a crime? In a sense, that is when now else proceeds to little in a rhyme. It's a riddle in a rhyme. All through the obstacles around, it's truly only freedom that surrounds. With every breath, a living voice. With every rest, yes, there is a choice. And to see what you want to see, for it to be there must surely be mountains to climb, cliffs to scale, bridges to build, and we will persevere. And we will persevere. And we will persevere. I know you made your mistakes. It's a natural act of imperfect act. And in fact, is it really such a crime? In events such as these, when our answers proceed, riddle in a rhyme. It's a riddle in a rhyme. It's a riddle in a, 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 it's a riddle in a rhyme.
Hey guys, Dave Darren here, and I've got the sunglasses on. I've got the sunglasses on because Terry says that I look exhausted and I look beat. I'll tell you, don't ever tell me that I look exhausted or tired. If you put that in a comment, I'll erase it. And I erased them because I got so much energy, it's blowing out of my head. I've got a lot of energy, so don't tell. You can tell me, Dave, you're looking old, because I am old. You can tell me, Dave, you look like you need a facelift. You can say, Dave, it looks like you need to chop your head off and put Tom Cruise's head on you. You can tell me all of that, but don't tell me I look tired or exhausted. Don't tell me that. That's like that commercial for Crazy Eddie. You remember him, Crazy Eddie? I think it was an East Coast guy, but don't tell me I look tired or exhausted. All right, I'm going to take the glasses off. So I'm not tired and exhausted. I'm going to let me take a sip of my Geritol here. Hang on. Okay, I got my energy back because I took Geritol. Later on, I'm going to take Viagra, and then I'm going to take Extends. Now, by the way, if you're a guy, don't take them in that order because Viagra, we all know that makes you erect. If you take Extends, that extends your penis length, right? So don't take the Viagra first and then the Extends because what happens is you get an erection and the tip of your penis, because it's grown with the Extends, is going to curl up. It's going to look like a question mark. It's going to look like an upside down question mark, which means you're only going to be able to fuck Mexicans with an upside down question mark, all right? So don't take it in that order. Take it reverse. Take the remember, I got a picture of Smiling Bob. Remember him from the Extends commercial? Let's put it up here. Remember Smiling Bob? Remember this? For all you guys that remember this, look at this face on this guy. Would you buy Extends from a guy that's got a Smiling Bob face like this? Unbelievable. So today this was not supposed to be my topic. So let's get rid of that. All right. And by the way, anyone that says that my eyes are popping, this is what popping eyes look like. All right. This is what a set of popping eyes look like. I'll put it over me. These are popping eyes. All right. So if you want to say someone's got popping eyes or their eyes look exhausted, here we go. This is a set of eyes that look gruesome. All right, let me take that off. And I'm going to get to today's meat of the topic. All right. Today's topic, last night I did a show and I was talking about people that are lazy. I was talking about all kinds of shit. Should I put the glasses back on? Then I look much younger, right? These are my Elton John glasses, all right? These are the glasses that I wear and when I wear these, by the way, I have this incredible urge to turn from straight to just sticking a penis in my mouth. These are the Elton John glasses, all right? More Viagra. So last night I did a show and I was talking about all kinds of insane... What did I talk about last night? I forget because I'm old. Because my eyes are old and I'm tired and I'm exhausted. I can't even remember what I talked about last night. But last night I did a show and I had this guy, Dale Elson, and he comes on here and he, before the show, like before today's show, if you tuned in early, you would have heard a theme song by this band, Bullbuckers. I forget the name of the band, but they were on my show like 7 years ago. They had a great song called Time, and that's a song I play when you're clocking down the time for the 5-minute warning to when the Dave Darren show starts. And the only reason I do that is, and I shouldn't do that anymore. The reason I did it before was when I actually had an audience, because I went out and I put the show on all these Facebook groups to get people to join the show, which I don't do anymore because I figure, fuck it, no one cares about the show. So I'm not going to bust my balls and put it all advertised on all the Facebook groups. So I don't do that anymore. And I'm not going to do that anymore because my eyes are too fucking tired. But I used to do that, so I used to give people an opportunity to join the show, so I would give them like the thing before the movie. You get the little commercials or you get the bullshit now. It used to be funny. It used to be like Roadrunner commercials and little cartoons and shit like that. Now it's all about who's in this movie. And you get all these boring fucking trivia questions about these egotistical movie stars that I don't give a fuck what movie Tom Cruise was in or anyone else was in. I don't care about. I'd rather see a Roadrunner cartoon. Or Three Stooges with people punching themselves. But my God, you can't put Three Stooges on anymore because that's going to offend somebody with two guys punching each other out. You can't put Three Stooges on anymore, right? So I did my show and I have the intro song called Time by the Bullbuckers. I remember the name of the band now, Bullbuckers. All right, that's the name of the band. You can check them out. So what happened is Dale Elson, comes on and he compliments the band. He said, that's a tremendous trumpet player in that song. And it really is. The guy that plays trumpet does a really good job. And I saw them perform that song live. And even from 7 years ago, I still remember that song, okay? So Dale comes on here and he compliments the song. So I say, oh, well, it's a band that was on my show like 7 years ago. Their name's Bullbuckers. And I actually went to Facebook because I don't have their Facebook address memorized. How could I have a Facebook address memorized for a band that was on my show 7 years ago? So I went out and I Googled their name, found their link on Facebook. I copied their link and I got on the chat site and I gave Dale the link to the band, a link to the band's Facebook page. So I went out and I Googled it, got the band's Facebook page, copied it, pasted it to the chat, and corresponded with Dale. And I said, Dale, I tell you what, and I'll read what I said to him. I said, contact them and tell them you liked their music, especially the trumpet. Now, I didn't say mention Dave Darren. I didn't say that because I'm not an egotistical prick about this show. I just said, why don't you go out, tell the band that you admired their song, you admired the trumpet playing, give them some flattering, and tell them that you appreciated your music, their music, all right? So this is what I get back from Dale. This is what I get back from him. He replied, sounds like work. In other words, for him to go out there, use the link that I gave him, that I spent the time to find, and click on that link. So all he would have had to do was click on the link, and get on there and message the band and say, great track called Time. I gave him the name of the track, too. Great track called Time. The trumpet playing was great. Don't even mention Dave Darren, just because then if you mention Dave Darren, they may say, well, where'd you hear my track? And then he's got to have a long correspondence with them. And he wanted to avoid a long, in fact, he didn't want to type out 3 fucking sentences. So he said this again. He said, and by the way, I'll read what I said again. This is what I did. Like I said, this type of attitude of laziness fucking pisses me off. It really does, especially when I did a radio show with terrestrial radio as a start. Then I used to go to the venues where the guys played and record interviews with them. Then I actually moved to doing music videos. I used to bring 3 cameras in and 6 great microphones. I didn't use cheap shit. I used Electro Voice microphones and Rhodes microphones. I did a great job recording the music and the video of the bands with 3 perspectives of the band, by the way. Oh, I thought I had a note here. So I had 3 of these action cams to capture the right side, the left side, and the center of the band's imagery and their videos, so I could put multiple videos and overlay it and do all this extra effort. So I really supported the bands trying to make their way out to being mainstream bands when they're still local bands playing in front of a local audience that make... Oh, I keep looking here to make sure, because I'm in my day job too, so I got to make sure I'm not getting emails and stuff like that. But okay, so I can deal with you guys. I can deal with Dale. So here's what happened is, like I said, I researched the band, found their Facebook link, spent the time to do that, copied it and pasted it, which is simple, but I spent the time to do that, which is how many milliseconds did I spend doing that? Then I got on the Facebook chat where Dale was making these commentaries, and I put the link out there, and I said, contact them and tell them you like their music, especially the trumpet. They will get a kick out of you contacting them. I didn't say mention Dave Darren. I'm not egotistical. And then I get back from Dale. He replied, sounds like work. I have very little time. Very little time. He had so little time he couldn't copy. He couldn't click my link to their band and then hit the message button and say, your music is great. I love Time. I love the trumpet. Period. That's the end of it. And then what is he thinking? That's an obstacle? That's so fucking hard to do that? I'll tell you what, this is the problem with music today. This is exactly a summary, and this is why I'm taking a little situation, and you guys are going to think, for most part, I'm blowing it out of the fucking water by saying this. But in all reality, this is the problem with music. A lack of appreciation. This guy couldn't click the link that I sent him. And he said has very little time. He has no time to what? Click the link and then say, great track, music I heard was called Time. Some great trumpet playing, period. 2 sentences. This is a fucking lazy guy. We were talking about Heather Wade, who's a radio personality, and everyone's calling her lazy. Look at this fucking guy. Doesn't have the time in his day to send a sentence to a link I gave him and say, great track, period. And if the band comes back to him and says, well, where'd you hear it? He can ignore them. He doesn't have to create a whole dialogue with the band and a whole correspondence of back to back to back to back like a tennis match. He doesn't have to go through all that effort. just send that out. If they respond to you, then just ignore it. But at least you complimented them and you cared about their music. And this is exactly what I mean with today's music. Here's a fan of that track. This guy, and initially when he said that, I thanked him for appreciating the fact that he liked their music and he liked my choice of music for the entry of the show. Let me check my email here. Okay, I'm good. So I'm back with you guys again. I'm giving you my full-time attention here, sort of. All right, so this is what I got to say. You know, when I started the music video show, I started, and I only had local bands on. Now, local, depending on where I was located, because I travel a lot. So it wasn't just local to Phoenix. It was local to any place I was at. In New Jersey, Philadelphia, this band, Bull Buckers, they're from Delaware. So I was in Delaware. It was crazy because I was out there. And there's something Philadelphia has called the string bands or the Mummers Parade on New Year's Day. There are a bunch of people dressed in feathers playing banjos, guitar, trumpets, trombones. And you ought to check out the Mummers Day Parade in Philadelphia if you're in Philadelphia. But the Fralinger String Band actually played on stage, and right after them came the Bull Buckers. So it's a crazy clash of crazy music. But Bull Buckers were really good. The trumpet player was great. So when Dale said that he appreciated their music, I thanked him for liking their music, and I said, why don't you contact the band? And here he's saying, he's acknowledging he's too fucking lazy. So he's acknowledging that he doesn't care about music at all. He doesn't want to spend, how many seconds would have taken to type one sentence, use the link I provided, click the message button on Facebook, and send them the message, and fucking ignore any response that the band sends you. You complimented them, that should be enough. If you don't want to go beyond that, then leave it at that and ignore anything that the band responds back to you, so you don't have to create a back and forth dialogue. So what I gotta say is this: when I started the music show, I ended the music show because of lazy pricks like this. And I'll tell you exactly why I ended the music show. The last music show I did, I was trying to create unity, as anyone should want to create unity to help out the music scene, especially when I used to be in a band. And I used to be a performer in a band in the 70s and the 80s. And I'm trying to pass the baton off and help out some of the new bands, so I created this music show where I would actually have local bands on. So the last band I had on, I don't remember the name of the band, and it's irrelevant. I went to their practice place where they were practicing. I brought the 3 cameras again to set up the 3 cameras. I brought the 6 microphones to capture the excitement of them performing and rehearsing their music. Hopefully we would get like a reality show of them getting their song together before they're ready to play that gig on that particular weekend. It could have been a fun thing to do, right? So I'm there, and I told them, I said, okay, we got to promote the show. I'm going to promote the show. I appreciate you guys and the bands to promote the show mutually, and together we'll create a unity, and we will make the show rock. So thanks for promoting the show. I think it was the drummer came up, and the drummer came over to me and said, you know what, Dave, we give you our music, our talent, and our voices for the interview, so you can ask us questions. We give you those 3 things. Dave, we're not going to help you promote the show at all. We're not going to do that. That's your job. That's your responsibility. Now, remember, I'm not on a big radio station with a big billboard up on Route 10 or Route 95 on the East Coast, where there's actually a sales team selling promotions to the spots, to the shows, and the radio personalities. I'm not on one of those big stations. It's me. It's me. That's it. Me with the old-looking eyes. I do look better with glasses, by the way. I know that. You got to cover. When you get old, you got to cover up as much as the face as you can. I should do the... remember the unknown comedian who used to put a trash bag over his head? I got to do that so I don't look fucking old and ancient anymore. So I don't need a facelift. My face will be a bag. And I know some people are going to say, Dave, why don't you put a plastic bag over your head? That way you'll suffocate and you'll give us all the relief of having to see your ugly face and horrible topics on the Dave Darren Show. But, so this is what I was getting at with... So as soon as that band said we give you our music, our talent, our voices for the interview, and it's your job, Dave, alone. We're not going to help you out at all. We're not going to participate in the unity. Fuck that unity shit. It's your show. You do all the work. Fuck you, Dave. So you know what I did? I packed up all my shit, got out of there. And I can do that because I'm a mean enough dude that if they all want to jump on me and attack me, there'd at least be one guy dead out of the band. They'd have to look for a new drummer because that new drummer's head would be plastered in the bass drum. and his ass would be facing me. So when his head's in the bass drum, and his ass is sticking out, I could kick his ass. All right. So I got out of there and I left, and that was the day I closed down the Dave Darren Show, because I thought, you know what, I'm trying to help out these young bands, get more established, get some more gigs, get some more labels interested in them, and I'm busting my ass, and they don't even promote the show that they're on. So I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm closing it down. And I talked about the trouble with the music business, starting off with Napster. We got fans like this Dale Elson, who is probably one of the dudes on Napster, downloading music from Napster from people that were sharing music. And I'll tell you something, that Napster file sharing, you know what that was? They all called it, they called it piracy, pirating of music. You know what? It wasn't pirating. It was out and out fucking thefts. It was fans out there that liked AC/DC or whoever they like, whatever mainstream band they like, Journey. If they like George Benson, if they were a jazz guy, they like George Benson. They're taking their albums, their LPs, their vinyl, or whatever it was, turning it into an electronic format, digitalizing it, and then sharing it with people they never even fucking met. They're putting it on a distribution system, and then people out there that happen to like Journey or AC/DC or George Benson are going out there. See, I can do Howard Stern if I want. I can even belch. If you want later on, I'll fart for you guys, all right? I'll fart for Dale because he's a shithead. And if I can get a good juicy one sticking out, then I could send it in a package in a bag. I'll take my unknown comedian paper bag, and I'll fill it with the duty I just had for the fart that I'm going to lay out for Dale, and I'll stick the duty in the bag and I'll send it to Dale. Man, I'll tell you, people like him irritate me, and I'll tell you why, and I'm getting to why, all right? Stick with me! I'm getting to it. So Napster was a file sharing system, so people like Dale then would go on there and say, oh, here's a Journey song by someone I never met who's sharing this file, I'm going to steal it. So, in other words, the people that put the music files out there were enablers for people like Dale to go out there and rip off the music. Now, I'm not saying Dale actually did it, but I'm just saying personalities like Dale who don't support music, as soon as they find that music out there for free, you know what, their ass is all over that shit. You don't have to pay for it, they just grab it, stick it in their playlist, and then they pretend that they're great fans of this band because they got all their music that they never fucking paid for. And then they have the gall when they're in the city that the band's performing at. They say, can you put me on the guest list? I'm your best fan. When they never paid for the music, they think they're your best fans because they keep playing their music that they got for free. This is why music is a fucking nightmare. It's a mess. Of course, you got egos. You got people that are egotistical that are some of the bands, like the drummer I told you about, on an ego trip without the talent to really be egotistical, by the way. They weren't that great where he should be having a fucking ego about his music, where he doesn't want to help out the Dave Darren Show that he's on, where I'm helping him out as well. So there's no mutual appreciation at all. So fuck him. Fuck the whole thing, right? So what I'm saying is, so Napster was the first disaster. It was theft of a product. You know, music is a product. It's music is a product. Sure, it's nothing you can pick up, although it is if it's on a CD or an LP or vinyl. That's called vinyl now, by the way. And now, of course, there is no more CDs or there is still vinyl. It's coming back. But now a lot of it's electronically. But it's still a product. People spent their efforts, their creativity. They put their blood, sweat, and tears. That was a great band, by the way. Blood, sweat, and tears into creating that music. And then to have it stolen, you know what that is? That's theft of a product. People that were involved in Napster should have all had their asses thrown in jail. To be honest with you, they should have been thrown in jail. And then you got fans out there who I love AC/DC. I'm going to go to Napster. I'm going to download some of their music today and stick it on my playlist. But I'm not going to fucking pay for it. It's out there in a file sharing. I'm going to download it. I'm going to steal it. Although they don't want to call it stealing, piracy. That's a lot gentler than stealing. But I want to call it theft. They're criminals. They stole stuff. It's like shoplifting. They shoplifted that music from a Sam Goodies. Remember Sam Goodies? Goodies Got It. Remember that? It's like going into a record store from the 70s and the 80s, finding your LP or your 12-inch LP. Remember 12-inch LPs? 12-inch LPs, I like the 12-inch LPs because back in the 70s, I was hung 12 inches. So I like the idea of the 12-inch LPs. So they're going out there to Sam Goodies and stealing. It's the same thing as Napster. You're going into the Napster store that doesn't have any price tags on anything. It's all there to be stolen. And you go there and you literally steal it because the bands are out there wanting to make some money off their music, and you went there and you fucking stole it. You stole that shit. You ripped it off. You stole it. It should have been a policeman outside of Napster ready to stick you in handcuffs and carry off. So you can be with Bubba in jail, and he'll steal your ass, literally. He will steal your ass. That's what should have happened with that whole fiasco. Then you got guys like this Dale, who doesn't even want to spend the effort to click on a link that I gave him, that I researched, that I found, that I searched for, and just say, hey, great track. I was digging time. The trumpet in that was tremendous. It was pristine. I loved it. And go away. Don't respond to the band. If they respond to you and you don't have time to create a constant back and forth dialogue, then just stop at that point. You complimented them. You gave them courtesy of saying you love their music. You can tell them where you found it. They can guess where you found it. Or they don't have to guess. They can just maybe think, well, you must have stumbled upon it on YouTube or on SoundCloud or Reverb Nation. They probably wouldn't think of the Dave Darren shows as it's been 7 years ago. So they're not going to think that I was the momentum builder for them to find you. Just drop it at that point. This guy here is so fucking lazy. He says, and I'll repeat it, sounds like work. Oh my God. How much work is that? You mean you don't have anyone that doesn't have 10 seconds to giving someone pleasure and happiness? That's a fucking lazy guy, and it's an inconsiderate guy, and it's a rude guy. So I was rude back to him. I'm doing the show now to be rude back to him. Because, it's funny. I have so few people that check out my show or care about my show. And here I'm picking on a guy that I'm sure is going to block me and unfriend me after this obstacle that I'm giving him. This little hostility that I'm giving him. But you know what? Fuck him. I don't need him. It's funny. He spent time to listen to my show. So I should be grateful because he actually spent time to click on Dave Darren and watch and listen to my show and even make commentary. So I should be nice to him, right? But the fact that he critiqued the love of my life, which is the music that I used to do, the music scene I used to be part of, helping out the bands because I was part of the music scene for like 9 years, playing in a band, making money on me playing in front of an audience when there was money to be made in playing for the product that you created, by the way. Then I have this guy here, this lazy fucking guy, say that sounds like work. I have very little time. Let me grab a tissue here. I got toilet paper here because he's a shithead. Let me grab it. I'm going to grab this, and I want to cry. He's got so little time. He's got so little time. I feel so bad for that guy. Fuck him. Fuck him. This is what I got. That's all. That's all I got. I'm going to hang up, and I'm going to go to my day gig. But I wanted to blow off steam by blowing some steam off to this Dale Elson guy, who in my opinion now, don't watch my show anymore. Don't fucking watch my show anymore. If you don't have time to send 2 sentences to a band whose music you appreciated, if you don't have time to spend with them, don't spend time with me. All right? Don't spend time with me. Don't waste your time with me. Plus, I'm too fucking old looking. I got old eyes. That's all I got for today. I'll see you some other time. I will read some of the comments. So before I get closer to the computer to look at the comments, I better put the glasses on. See if anyone's got anything to say. Someone does. Let's see. Take the glasses off. I'm sorry for making an observation. You can. Like I said, I don't pretend to be younger than I am. I don't want to be younger than I am. I don't want to find that fountain of youth place where you go and drink. Suddenly you become young and vibrant again. You're 25 years old. You're going to live another 50 years. I don't want to live another 50 years in a planet that's actually kind of full of hate and anxiety and in the verge of blowing shit up. Blowing shit up meaning blowing up the whole fucking humanity. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think global warming is going to take out this planet's population. I think global warming is going to take off the planet's humanity by some kind of a nuclear thing that's going to take, which is going to be global warming because it's going to warm up our body, melt the flesh off of our body, melt the organs off of our body, get down to the skeleton and burn that shit up as well via via the hatred we got going on this planet. The hatred of one another, the hatred of humanity. And then the only thing I got to say that I'm sad about that is the rest of the species on this planet, which are better species than humanity, are going to also be fried because of the human existence, which is going to be taking out each other. Let's see. Terry says, stop, David. Let's see. Terry says, I own more music albums, 45s and CDs, that I had to have an entire wall made of, what's this? Intova. I don't know what Intova is. Is it something like Viagra and extends? Intova. That word's making me horny. Music Library. Dave. Jason says, Dave. That is me. What's going on, Jason? That's all Jason says is just my name. But you did spell it correctly, except you should capitalize the D. I'm a capital douchebag. So when you mention my name and you type my name, please use the initial D as capital D for douchebag, all right? Please do that, because I admit that I am a pain in the ass. But I'm going to take my pain in the ass attitude off the air right now, and I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. But I am going to end the show with a track specifically dedicated and donated to our good buddy out there, Dale. This is called You Suck. Let me see if I can find it. It's hard to find it with the glasses on. Okay, I found it. This is called You Suck. Check this out. Dedicated to our good friend Dale, who didn't have time. He didn't have time to spend 20 seconds. It's a guy that has no time in his life whatsoever. Don't spend the time to watch my show. That's all I got. Check you guys out later. Ciao.
My oxygen is raining, blood that runs through me races so rapidly, tense my aggression. Retaliate, contestify, saw all the life from me.